Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Miller's Music Mondays. I'm Jason Charles Miller. Um, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Let's kick it off here. I'm going to do a song from my new album, From the Wreckage Part 1. This one's called You're About to. Dark tunnel when you're riding those rails, spinning in the funnel on a short trip to hell. There's thieves in the temple, never walk out the door. You're blind to the devil, and he just wants you wrong. You don't know, no. You're about to if you don't know. You're about to. You don't know that road you're on, and it drives you home. Brother, it won't take too long. Everything is gone. Spirit in those evil things, chain you to your pain, tie you to those evil ways till the end of the day. A hold of you, it don't let you go. Stronger than your fear, and everything you know. This chance could be your last when you roll them bones. Brother, if you went to here, abandon all you hope. Baby, you don't know, no. You're about to if you don't know. All right. Let me bring on my guest. This guy is, one of the most talented people I have the pleasure of knowing and working with a little bit. He is the lead singer of the band Blackberry Smoke. Please welcome Charlie Starr, everybody. And we're going to unmute you.
How you doing,
man? Good.
Man, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. I recognize that clear guitar back there.
Oh yeah, it's a Dan Armstrong. I've had it a long time. Underneath the pick guard, it's got a Billy Gibbons signature.
Well, good way to a good way to protect it, right?
Well, I thought it would be a good idea. I was like, well, it won't make any sense for him to sign this clear thing because I'm going to play it. It'll get worn off, and you can see the bottom of the pick guard when you flip the guitar over. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool, because we were out on the road and he gave it to me because he's the greatest.
Yeah.
And, I said, "Hey, I'll take this off. Will you sign it in here?" He said, "Yeah, man." So I took the pick guard off, and he drew a little picture of himself. The little like a little stick man with his hands up, and
Yeah.
and he signed Billy F. Gibbons, and I put it back on, and you can't see it. It gets covered up by the pickup.
But
So
you know it's there.
I know it's there.
The first time I met Billy Gibbons, actually, it wasn't the first time, but it was the first time he came to my recording studio. He came with Austin Hanks, and he gave me a pair. He gave me a set of dice,
Yeah.
like casino dice,
Uh-huh.
and some hot sauce. And I
Yeah.
still have both of that. Just like they're rare, they're relics. They're
Yeah.
magical items.
He is the most interesting person I think I've ever met, ever.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't argue.
Yeah. Never a dull moment. You never know what he's going to do, what he's going to say, or what he's going to give you. Like you said, like a chocolate covered crickets or a little wind 'em up robot that has a flying V in its hand, or playing cards, or $2 bill, or a guitar, or a hard
Exactly.
time.
Yeah. Uh, the guitar, that's a good one though, for sure.
Yeah, we were on tour. Blackberry Smoke was opening for ZZ Top for a couple of months, and he would come. I think that Billy would, like he would spend time with us, and I don't know if it's because he really wanted to spend time with Blackberry Smoke, but I think he likes to get out of the norm. Likes to break out of his usual routine, which would be hang on the bus till, you know, lunchtime, maybe line check, sound check, usually not, but then come off the bus for dinner time. A lot of catering, a lot of tour bus, and he would come get in our van back then and ride around. Like, let's go to a thrift store, or let's go eat, Mexican food, and we were all just like, holy shit, Billy Gibbons wants to hang around us, and like, we're his ride out of there.
Yeah.
No, but he's great. He's been a great friend, and I cherish every bit of advice, and even just watching what he does, what they do every night. Uh, a guy from 38 Special, Jeff Carlisi, I heard once say, he said back in the 80s, 38 Special was opening for ZZ Top when they were just getting started. And he said, I thought we were so good, man. I was like, follow that. And he said, I watched them come out, and the way they walked to the microphone was cooler than we were. And I was like, oh, okay, you win.
Yeah, yeah. There's something electric about their show, and it's only three guys, and you look up and watch them, and it's something to behold for sure.
Yeah. And he's just
How have things been going for you? First of all, I know you have a new record coming out on May 28th called "You Hear Georgia," which, every time you put out a new record, I think to myself, oh, this is their best song ever, right? So last album it was "Run Away with It All" or "Run Away from It All," and the first time I heard the title track, "You Hear Georgia," I was like, they did it again, because that's one of might be my favorite song of yours.
oh,
Now.
thank you.
And I know that's always good for musicians. We always love that our latest work, we always are most proud of our latest work.
Yeah. It's the most exciting at the time, for sure.
Yeah. And for the last few records, I think you self-produced, and this time you sort of went back under the gun with a producer, Dave Cobb. What was that like?
It was great. Dave and I had been in contact for the last few years. I never knew him when he lived in Atlanta. He was here for, I guess, most of his adult life, but and he was in bands that played the same clubs that we did. And anyway, but I didn't know him, and I became aware of him as a producer. With Shooter Jennings' first record, and Jamie Johnson, the That Lonesome Song record, and
Yeah.
like, oh, and somebody told me, they're like, oh, that guy Dave Cobb that used to be in that band in Atlanta, he's produced these records, and I was like, wow, they are fantastic. And then he went from there, obviously, with all of his work with Stapleton Jason Isbell and Sturgill Simpson, and I mean many, many more.
Yeah.
But so a few years ago, we were connected by a friend, and he said, "Man, I would love to work with you guys." And I said, "We would love to work with you. We love what you do." And I remember asking at the time, just initially, like, "Well, you got any openings?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
Not for, it's like the luthier that you get on the 3-year waiting list for a guitar or something. He's like, "Well, let's just stay in contact and see what happens." And at the time, I was feeling really good about just us making those records, each one, Like an Arrow and Find a Light. And I was every time I go in the studio, I learn something new from an engineer or from a producer. And you know how it is. You get a certain age, you're like, I don't really need anybody to tell me this song is too long. I think we can go in and record this and it'll be fine.
Right.
And so producing yourself is entirely possible for most adults, And but I stayed in contact with Dave, and it just so happens on this last go round, he said, I'm open, man. Let's do it. And I said, let's do it. So we did it.
Yeah, I mean, and it still has that Blackberry Smoke sound that's undeniable, but it's almost like it's like a more pure sound of your sound, So it's like there's nothing that you feel as a listener has changed. It just feels enhanced.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I didn't know, I did know by listening to his other records that he definitely didn't put a Dave Cobb stamp on everything. You find some producers that they're like, that's my signature, is that snare sound, or what.
Right.
He's not really, I don't think he's really like that. And we didn't talk about it, but I think that he's more about capturing you, making, just like you said, making the best you, not Dave Cobbing you. But it was a great experience. It was during the lockdown pretty much. We started in late May, and we recorded it in 10 days. We tracked for 5 and mixed for 5, and it went to mastering.
Wow. Did you go to Nashville and do it, or did you do it in Georgia?
To Nashville. We went to Studio A, where it's like his playhouse,
Right. Yeah. Better to go to him than to get out of it.
Yeah, that's a great way to, and he would have worked in Atlanta. We were talking about it. He said, we can go wherever you guys want to go. And I'm glad we went there because, he's tuned the room. He knows exactly, there's no wasted time. Like, all right, well, let's get drum sounds and let's get this, it's ready. So just throw a mic on an amp and boom. He's like, it sounds good right there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'd love to hear whatever you want to play today. It doesn't have to be off the new record, but we'll definitely talk about the new record this hour. But play me whatever you'd like to play.
Yeah, okay. This is a new song. It's on the record, and I wrote this with our buddy Keith Nelson.
Yeah.
It's called "Ain't the Same."
Saw the lightning flash across a bright blue sky. Saw the rain creep across the road. Well, he stopped and said, that's the devil beating his wife. Some old tale the old folks told. It's a 5-mile walk between here and town. On a road I'm a sugar cane. He won't notice if he goes anywhere. Here lately it's like they've forgotten his name. Can he just go back a page? Yeah, the days seem so much brighter, and the breeze could blow your troubles away. You could see angels dancing in the flame. This old place seems so much bigger. Now he sees it all a different way. Nothing's really changed, but it ain't the same. He's been back from overseas about 30 days. He returns standing proud and true. Yeah, the new is worn off for his welcome home, like the heat burning off the dew. Empty bottles of younger days, going over the edge when it's a hell of a fall. Can he just go back a page? Yeah, the days seem so much brighter, and the breeze could blow your troubles away. You could see angels dancing in the flame. This old place seems so much bigger. Now he sees it all a different way. Nothing's really changed, but it ain't the same. He don't know where he's headed for, but the buses run right on time. Anywhere's better than staying here, with the ghosts running through his mind. Things that he's seen and done are so much for any mother's son to live down or try to run away from. Can he run? Yeah, the days seem so much brighter, and the breeze can blow your troubles away. You could see angels dancing in the flame. This old place seems so much bigger. Now he sees it all a different way. Nothing's really changed, it just ain't the same. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, and that's out now too. That's one of the pre tracks, right?
It
Like,
is. Yeah, it was the
pre-order
third.
the album, or if you have Apple Music, I think you can grab that now.
You can, yeah. It was the third single, single preceding the album.
And I love that you wrote it with Keith Nelson too, who I actually met through you. Even though we both live in LA now, and what a great guy to write with. I've written a couple songs with him, and you know, sort of we've expanded our network together. I got him a great backing vocalist that he loves to use all the time now on his tracks. So it's
Yeah.
you know, that's what I love about just the music community on a whole. You know, it's like we all just want each other to succeed, and we just help when we can, and
Yeah. That's right.
like-minded people.
Brothers and sisters.
Exactly. Yeah. So the next song I'm gonna play is on my new record, but it actually, the way this song came about was kind of interesting. So I wrote it with Jonathan Tyler, who is a solo artist and also in Nikki Lane's band. He was living in LA for 1 year, and Shooter Jennings had a residency at a club called Loaded, which is long gone. It's now a Star Wars themed bar.
Oh.
Called Scum and Villainy, but at the time it was called Loaded, and he sort of Shooter put together a house band of some of his band members like Ted Russell Camp, but then also Jonathan Tyler was in that house band. He grabbed different people. There was one night that he couldn't make it, and I got asked to sub. So I subbed that night, met Jonathan, and in the short amount of time that he lived here, I think he lived here for less than a year, we wrote this song. And I recorded it in the intention of it being on the last record. And, I was signed to Sony Music at the time, and there's always an A&R guy that maybe you play him a song when he's in a bad mood, and then your favorite song doesn't make it on the record because one person's like, nah, I don't hear it. And it's like, ugh. I'm sure you've had that experience on various times of your career.
Yeah.
Starbucks gave me the wrong milk, so therefore I hate that song.
Yeah, that's pretty much, and then you always hear stories about, we recorded every song we were going to play for the album. And then, we decided to set up one last time. And that becomes like the biggest song of a band's career too.
Yeah.
But Cowboy Eddie Long from Jamie Johnson's band, and who's played on some of your records, played on this record as well.
Yeah.
And then the whole track was put together sort of piecemeal. I got Adam Schoenfeld, who is in Tim McGraw's band, and he was on tour with Tim McGraw at the time, playing like Angel Stadium that night, So I grabbed him and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to pick you up at your hotel. I'm gonna bring you over to my studio. We're gonna record as many songs as we can, and then I'll get you back before sound check." So I drove down to the stadium, picked him up, played as many as we could, and then I did the same with Cowboy. He was playing a gig in LA with Jamie that night, so that became the recording of the song. But I'm going to play it acoustically now. It's called "Better Late Than Never," which I guess is a good moniker for the song in many, many reasons, since we wrote it so many years ago and put it together like that. But anyway, here we go. You don't have to ask what shape I'm in. Wanna look at my face, tell you where I've been. The memories are full of grief. One day soon I'll find relief. Gonna carry this load till the day I die, till I look my maker in the eye. Say, "Hey man, what you trying to do? It's just one thing I've asked of you. Give me a sign. Something would be better than nothing. It's been a long, long time, but it's better late than never." Ooh. I gave you my love, gave you my pain, but I never thought that you were gonna walk away. And now that time I can never get back. When I got home, your bags were packed. You slipped down without a word. Now I can't believe the things I heard. Can't stop thinking about the way things were. I never saw it coming, everything's a blur. Give me a sign. Something will be better than nothing. It's been a long, long time, but it's better late than never. Yeah, it's better late than never. Oh, it's better late than never. If I had my way, I'd leave this town. It's hard to show my face now that you're not around. But here I stand, just trying to find a clue to the mystery of what happened to me and you. Give me a sign. Something will be better than nothing. Oh. It's been a long, long time, but it's better late than never. Yeah, it's better late than never. Oh, it's better late than never. Yeah, it's better late than never.
Dude. Woo!
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a fun one.
You always need the up tempo. Always. How many
Oh
producers?
yeah.
How
Oh
many,
yeah.
how
As
many
many.
producers have ever told you that? Need a faster one. Need a faster one.
Yeah, I got a couple on the new one, but I wanted to ask you. Oh, so I want to talk to you a little bit about the show. You know, the shows that you have coming up. I mean, you're on tour right now, right? Like I was able to catch you on a rare day. I
Yeah.
find Mondays is the best day to catch people because we hardly ever have a live show on Monday.
Yeah. We came home. We leave again tomorrow night. Um, but came home for a couple of days, get some, fresh clothes and kiss mama for mama's day and
Yeah.
cut the grass and, feed the dog and all that. But the shows are going well. We played a lot. It's mostly outdoor shows, of course. And went down to Florida and had a great time. And then this place outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, we're playing. It's called The Shed. We've been going there a lot of years. A friend of ours, well, he became our friend from playing there so much, but great fellow, Scott Maddox is his name. And he built a venue there in Maryville, Tennessee. And he started booking only bands he liked, which I thought was pretty cool. He would have Leon Russell and Ray Wiley Hubbard and the Kentucky Headhunters and Cross Canadian Ragweed. That's who we were touring with the first time we played there. It was in 2007 or so.
Okay. Wow.
Something like that. And he liked us. And so he had us back. And it sort of became, it was sort of a happy accident. We didn't plan it, but it sort of became sort of a neutral place in the country where all these people would come, and it became like a family reunion for Blackberry Smoke people, and so we started having people come from all over the world to the Shed. Is this right next door to this Harley Davidson dealership, and they've got this great ride there for people who ride motorcycles, and we turned it into a weekend thing. And Britt and Richard Turner are motorcycle guys, so they do the ride and I get involved with that on the Sunday after. If we play weekends, we did last weekend, and we're doing Friday and Saturday night this coming weekend too. But it's been great. It's a cool place to go and see a show, and one of the things to look forward to every year.
Yeah, that's great. I'll make it down one year just to check it out.
Yeah, beautiful part of the country, Tennessee, the beautiful rolling hills of Tennessee.
There's some. I grew up in Virginia, and spent a lot of time in Tennessee, and yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country.
Yeah.
Got a question for you too. And it went off. Or actually, I just want to say hi to everybody on Twitch and everyone that's coming in right now and watching. Thanks for watching. This is Miller's Music Mondays. I'm here every Monday at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And my guest today is Charlie Starr from Blackberry Smoke. So thank you guys so much for watching, and big thanks to Twitch for featuring us on the front page. Anyway, how many before you play your next song, I got to know, how many guitars do you bring on tour with you usually? Because I've seen that sometimes I feel like you play a different one almost every song.
I bring, I think there are 8 in the boat right now, 8 to 10. And,
Okay.
And it started years ago with tunings and capos and things. Well, I started wanting 3 guitars all the time: a standard tune guitar, an open G guitar, and an open E or D guitar. And then I started thinking, well, this one's going to be open G capo too. So I need another guitar for that, because I didn't have a tech at the time. I was like, I don't have time to. Nothing sucks worse than watching somebody tune on stage.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
And it's even worse being the person tuning.
Yeah, it feels like it's a year to get it in tune. So I started early on. I would have a little guitar boat of my own, and I would run over there and change guitars real fast and do the song. And then it just grew from there, And I would see bands that I love, like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and the Stones. It's kind of their fault too, because I was like, ooh, look at that. They're changing guitars so much. And ooh, look at what he's playing now. It's a vintage guitar show,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love it. Chris Robinson, one time we were talking, and he's like, his brother Rich does the same thing. He loves playing all the different guitars, and they all sound different, and they have a different fingerprint, and different tonality, and I love it. And so does he. But anyway, Chris was like, "You and my brother, why do you guys need so many damn guitars? Can't you get the job done with one? Just one?" And I'm like, maybe, but why would you wanna when you can bring 8?
Right. There's like neck lengths and neck widths, and your fingers are used to playing a certain song on a certain guitar, and
Yeah, a man needs a Telly and a Les Paul and perhaps a Strat if you're so inclined.
Mhm.
Myself, not. I've never heard a Strat, but need a good balance of Gibsons and Fenders to make the whole day complete.
Absolutely. Well, what are you going to play for us next?
Well, this is Run Away From It All. Funny enough, another Keith Nelson and myself co-write. This is the first one that we wrote.
Well, that was a good first one to write. And I saw you guys perform it on, I want to say, one of the last episodes of the Carson Daly Show.
Yeah, that was at the Fonda in LA. And I twisted Keith's arm and got him up. I've known Keith since the 90s, back in the 1900s, Jason.
Wow.
And we've been guitar nerd buddies since 1997 or so.
And for people watching, Keith Nelson originally is one of the founders of the band Buck Cherry.
Yeah. So he's a great friend. And at one point, when he left the band, Buck Cherry, and we were in touch and talking. And at one point he said, well, I need to write some songs because that's what I do, and would you like to write with me? And we'd never done that before. We've always just been friends, and I said, sure. And this is the first riff he sent was that one. So I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Like this.
We're in.
So we've written a bunch now, but this is the first one.
Standing on the bridge, see the water keep flowing by. I flipped a quarter in the river, then I headed for the other side. I made the same wish that I always do. I'm just fool enough to think it'd ever come true. Came in like a lion, now I'm out like a lamb. They don't even know who I am. Miles and miles wide open for me. Got it all laid out so beautifully. Don't you worry about a thing, baby. We can run away from it all. Oh, ghosts whistle in the wind in the dead of night. I'm walking through the valley of the shadow, heading for the light. I made the same wish that I always do. Got to find myself a life that's shiny and new. They say that the truth is gonna set us free. I ain't waiting around to see. Miles and miles wide open for me. Got it all laid out so beautifully. Don't you worry about a thing, honey. We can run away from it all. Squeezing every drop out of what's left of my time. Jumping on tomorrow before it goes by. No matter what they say, mama, we can run away from it all. Yeah, come on. Yeah, have mercy.
one of my faves for sure. What a
Thank
great,
you.
yeah, what a great song. And yeah, I love it when the first song you write with somebody is a song like that. You know, that you really get excited about, because then it makes the relationship that much stronger, and the you know, the desire to work together again.
Yeah.
Now you guys toured with Eric Church back in the day.
Yep.
Um, and Driver Williams, his guitar player, and I wrote this next song together with Drew Smith. But it was the same kind of thing. Like, this is the first one that we wrote together, and it just sort of caught fire. So we've written a lot of songs together. Um, I started going to Nashville quite a bit, and just would contact my publisher and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Nashville from this date to this date," and you know, they would just fill my schedule. Okay, at 10:30 you're writing with this person who you've never met before, and at 2:30 you're writing with this person who you never met before, and then like the whole week. And at one point I'm like, "Hey, I'm friends with Driver Williams from Eric Church's band. Like, is it okay if can we fit him in the schedule somewhere?" And then luckily we made it work.
Yeah.
But you know, it's the thing I admire about like the professional songwriters in Nashville specifically is that, like, for as much as it is um, creative and art, it's also, I mean, it's a job. It's like you wake up in the morning and you're going to write two songs every day,
Yeah.
5 days a week.
Right.
Um, and at first, it's sort of counterintuitive, like being a, a band guy, because with Godhead, we always just wrote with each other, right?
Mhm.
Like occasionally we would bring in an outside writer, but you know, when it's a band, you want it to be representative of you as a group. And so, but then I realized how much more you can learn even writing a bad song with somebody that never gets released, but you learn more about yourself and about songwriting the more you just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly right. And then, you know, also in a band situation, sometimes there are not everybody in a band doesn't write. You know,
Right.
some people are not. That's not what they're driven to do. And which is, I mean, if you look back down through the years, you know, reading liner notes, why a lot of times it says Lennon, McCartney, Jagger, Richards, or Bob Dylan. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, um, uh, and at the same time, you know, there's a lot of you'll sometimes in a band somebody will, like in our case, Brandon Steele, the piano player, when he joined the band, um, he came with some really cool ideas in a certain vein, you know, and I was like, oh, I like that a lot. We wrote a couple of songs together called one called Pearls and one called Free on the Wing, which Greg Allman wound up singing them.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have come from me because I don't play the keys. So like Free on the Wing is a Wurlitzer riff, and he wrote the basically the riff and then the verse movement and then the chorus movement, and then I wrote the lyrics and the melody and the bridge. But it was so exciting. I'm like, oh wow, he just sent me an email. Check this out. I'm like, I love that. Whoa, and it inspires you as far as you know writing lyrics or melodies. All of a sudden, it'll send you in and did this. Not in our case, it wasn't a different direction really, but it just brought something out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it birthed a melody because it was so inspiring. So it's yeah, so many different ways to do it.
And you know, as guitar players and writing primarily with guitar, it's like we hear something and we go, oh well, I've played that before. Oh yeah, that chord. Okay, I got to go to this chord. But then someone's playing a different instrument, and it could be the same chords, but it just sounds different to you, and
Totally.
it makes your melody go somewhere else.
Totally. I've sat now. I'll play that song acoustically sometimes, and I enjoy it, but I miss every time. I miss that whirly. You know, I'm like, this song is not this song without that part. You know.
Right. Yeah. Um, well, okay. Well, I'm gonna go. This one is from my my album a couple albums ago. This is the title track of Natural Born Killer. Hi, my name is Jeremiah. Most folks call me Jim. From a little town just east of Shepherdsville. I was born and raised to raise some hell up in these hills. Getting stronger every day while I keep sitting still. I can lift your spirits up, or I can help you drown. I can pour my heart right out to you, but it'll burn go down. You can find me anywhere, in any corner store. Look for me sitting on a shelf, or hiding in a drawer. I'm a natural born killer, but I don't need no gun. Like to take my time, there ain't no need to run. So don't be scared if you see me there, just go back another one. I'm a natural born killer, Kentucky's oldest son. Some souls to me, just like that boy that found face down there in Old Nile Creek. Baptized in that same water where I took him home last week. Now his poor old mama looks to me to find some peace. I'm a natural born killer, but I don't need no gun. Like to take my time, there ain't no need to run. So don't be scared if you see me there, just go back another one. I'm a natural born killer, Kentucky's oldest son. Oh yeah. Oh. Always need to remember to take a big breath there.
Oh, you got way more wind than anybody I know, Jason Charles Miller.
Thanks, man. My drummer, we used to do a slowdown there on that part, like a retard to end the song.
Yeah.
And my drummer, to mess with me, would like start going slower and slower and slower. So I had to hold the note longer and longer. Yeah. And finally I'm like, hey man, like I get it, but
watch this. My dog is scratching, trying to get in this room. Hey babe, will you come get the dog? Thank you.
My dog does exactly the same thing. I actually have and she knows how to open doors. So we have like a baby lock on the door so she can't get in, but then it locks me in the room.
Yeah. I had the dog put up in his little crate, and Mama let him out, and now he's scratching on my door, and she's in so much trouble. She's staring at me right now. She was not in any trouble yesterday since it was Mother's Day. She was very pampered, and now she's in so much trouble.
She's free. Before you play your next song, I just want to say hi to the viewers on Twitch, and you're watching Miller's Music Mondays. I'm here every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. At Eastern. Yeah, I was going to say Atlantic. I don't know. And I've lived away from the East Coast for too long. And my guest today is Charlie Starr from Blackberry Smoke.
Great to be here with you, my friend.
Yeah, so glad we could do this.
Yeah, man.
We'll be in person together again at some point, but for now,
that's right.
Next best thing.
How far do you think? How far do you think shows how far away are shows on the West Coast?
I've been told July,
okay.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I know right now, I think places are at 25 or 50% capacity.
Uh-huh.
For live venues, it's not really worth it yet for them to open at that small capacity. But I think once it gets to 75, I think we'll start seeing.
Yeah,
that.
I spoke with great British journalist Bob Harris, legendary.
Right.
Not a journalist, radio host, and he used to host the Old Grey Whistle Test, and just a legend. And he told me, I had no idea, but because I know that it's been really, really tough in Europe, in the UK, and as far as I knew, that the UK was still locked down for so long, And he said, no, well, things are looking up, and he said, actually, there's some experimenting with gigs going on. With trying to, in a control type situation, if you will. I'm not sure. I'm just paraphrasing here. I'm not going to quote Bob to a T, but he said they're trying to see if they can have gigs, and that was the best news I've heard in months, because it's been so so depressing to think about. We're over here and we got our Instagram, and we're like, look at what I'm doing, and it's like a lot of the people in the UK and in Italy and Spain are like, oh yeah, I can't even go to the grocery store yet. Yeah. So it's like, I saw a guy on Instagram the other day, it was like, let's be humble, amigos, because a lot of people can't go see a show, so maybe don't put up your post of your absolutely packed baseball stadium going to watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
Maybe go enjoy it, and you don't have to tell the whole world about it. But
March of 2020, I was getting ready to get on a plane, when everything started to shut down here, because I was going to be touring the UK with Bob Wayne, and that tour has now been rescheduled to March of 2022.
Yeah.
So they just skipped 2021 entirely, and we're going to go in 22. But allegedly at this point. I hope so.
Hopefully I'll be back to normal soon.
Yeah.
This song, I wrote this song in Oxford, Mississippi, on tour years ago. And I was thinking about, we were playing right around Ole Miss football stadium. We were playing with Zach Brown at a big place. And anyway, I was walking around, I was thinking about, well, I'm in Mississippi, I'm in the home of the blues, but I don't see any blues here. It was mostly, it was all about football that day. But they were also playing, I'm an Auburn Tiger fan, and they were playing Auburn and they won. And I was bummed, so I had the blues. So I wrote this song. I ain't got the blues in head more. I don't toss and turn at night, mama. I don't walk the floor. Ever since little mama came home, I find what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna shine a big sparkle and shine. Everybody that I meet gonna be a good friend. I'm feeling fine, just fine as wine. Hey, I can't frown for grinning, I can't lose for winning. I ain't got the blues anymore. Sunday ain't no rain on my parade. Hands are meeting lately, I'm ahead of the game, and honey, all my bills got paid. Ever since little mama came home, it's made right in the shade. I'm gonna shine a big sparkle and shine. Everybody that I meet gonna be a good friend. I'm feeling fine, just fine as wine. Oh yeah, I can't frown for grinning, I can't lose for winning. I ain't got the blues anymore. Oh no, man. If I ain't got 10, brother, I got 9. The good Lord smiling down on me, and ain't a worry on my mind. Something about my fine little mama, I don't know why, but she makes me wanna shine, big sparkle and shine. Everybody that I meet gonna be a good friend of mine. I'm feeling fine, just fine as wine. I can't frown for grinning, no, I can't lose for winning. I ain't got the blues anymore. Hey, I ain't got the blues anymore.
Yeah, man. So that actually reminded me of a time at the Troubadour. I think you guys played 3 nights in a row at the Troubadour, and the show was like, the place was just, it was electric, right? There was just like, it was one of those special shows, and you guys were playing that song, and it's funny because I heard about the other side of this story later from Austin, but you guys are in the middle of playing that song, and all of a sudden Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top walks on the stage, and someone handed him a guitar. I think your tech handed him a guitar, and he said, no, I want to play the drums. Like, and just everything. It was like the most chaotic, beautifully chaotic moment. One of the most I've ever seen at a live show.
It was absolutely chaotic and unrehearsed and spontaneous, and none of us had any idea that he was coming. And and Austin, I don't think he knew they were coming either.
No,
Talking to him later.
Austin told me later, he said on their way over, Billy said to him, hey, whatever you do, make sure I don't walk on that stage, because I've had a little bit too much to drink. Make sure I don't walk on that stage. And then as soon as they walk in the door, he walks immediately on the stage.
Walk straight up.
Anyone could react.
And the crowd went absolutely bananas. It was sold out. It was beautiful. It was hot in there. It was a great, sweaty rock and roll show. And yes, he did. He came up, and as soon as he got up close, he had sat in with us before, and it was beautiful. You know, he just. But as he got close to me, I thought, oh, okay, all right, I see. He's having fun tonight. Tonight's wild night, and I don't think he wanted a guitar immediately. I think he knew. He's like, I'm not here to play or sing because I'm partying, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my fault. I gave him. I had the acoustic guitar on,
Right.
and we were doing that song, and I took it off and handed it to him, and he put it on and he played a little bit, and he goes, I don't want to play the acoustic guitar. I want to play an electric guitar. And he said into the microphone, he's like, acoustic guitars are bad luck for me. Bring me an electric guitar. So my tech doc brought a Les Paul over, and he starts to take the acoustic off and then changes his mind. But he still wants the electric. He wants both of them. So I've got a photograph that a friend took of him holding, if you can see this, he's fretting a G chord on my acoustic guitar, and he's got my Les Paul by the neck between his pinky and ring fingers.
Oh God.
And it's hanging straight down, and he didn't drop it. He had like superhuman strength.
Yeah, I'll have to try that next time. All right.
That Les Paul in particular is not a chambered one. It's full on weight, you know.
Yeah, so it's like 12, 15 pounds, something like that.
He never dropped it. And I wanted to maybe get the electric guitar from him so it wouldn't fall. And he's like, no, I got it. And you're right, we did. And I was thinking, well, are we going to do, we didn't really play a song. And then he handed me both guitars. He's like, I want to play the drums. And he can play the drums. I've seen him do it. And he started, and you know, the Troubadour stage is not very big.
Right.
He's climbing over amplifiers and microphone stands, and he got back and played the drums for a minute, and then he was like, "That's it, I'm out." And
it was quite a night. Yeah. I think that night, it's weird because I'm bringing all these people together too. But Eric Church was in town that night, and a lot of his band were at the show. And I remember like they were passing moonshine around. Like it was a crazy night.
Yes, it was.
In the crowd, it was just a crazy night everywhere.
I think Mark Ford was there. I think he played. It wasn't that night. It may be the night before, but yeah, it was crazy. Billy called the next day, and he was like, "Sorry about last night." You know, it's like, "Hey, man, no, it was great." You know, he didn't come up there and he didn't wreck anything. You know, he was just having fun and getting wild. But I look back on that kind of thing with fondness. You know, it's like, if you told me something like that would happen when I was 12, I'd have told you were crazy.
Absolutely. And it's a magical moment that you can look back on for years.
Yeah. And Austin did say, he was like, I'm sorry. He told me, you know, we went out and he said, same thing you just said. And he's, I mean, whatever, you know, it's fantastic.
Well, we've got time for one more each. So I'm going to fire one off real quick here. Brenda Lee Yeager is this amazing gospel singer that I know. She was actually in the Staple Singers for a little while. You can see a great video of her solo singing on Soul Train on YouTube, and she's put out a ton of gospel records. And every time I can get her to sing on a track, I do. And I had the good fortune of getting her to sing on this track with me that I wrote for my album In the Wasteland. It's the last song on that album, which we have a song on too, by the way, that you know of course, Old Scarecrow. We'll talk about that afterwards. But so on the album that Old Scarecrow is on, this is the last song on that album, called Finding My Way in the Dark. So here we go. I'm lost in the dark, danger all around me. I won't get very far, for I've no eyes to see. They said look for the light, but how can I follow things they just don't seem right? Sure hard to swallow. I could stand here and wait for things to get better. They say I should have faith, mind over matter. I'm just reaching out my hand, and I'm trying to understand why the things that I do are pushing me back to where I began. I'm just searching for the truth. Now the heartache that I've been through, there's no more I can say. I'm just finding my way in the dark. Well, I'm down on my knees, trying to crawl out, begging anyone, please give me water in this drought. Well, it's cold in the pitch black. Why don't you got my back? Lord, help me get on track as I brace for the attack. I could stand here and wait for things to get better. They say I should have bet, but I found it don't matter. I'm just reaching out my hand, and I'm trying to understand why the things that I do are pushing me back to where I began. I'm just searching for the truth. Now the heartache that I've been through, there's no more I can say. I'm just finding my way in the dark. Whoa, whoa. I'm just reaching out my hand, yeah, I'm trying to understand why the things that I do pushing me back to where I began. I'm just searching for the truth. Now the heartache that I've been through, there's no more I can say. I'm just finding my way in the dark. There's no more I can say. I'm just finding my way in the dark, yeah, in the dark.
There you go again. I heard that little falsetto. Woo. Beautiful, man.
Thanks, man. Once again, you're watching Miller's Music Mondays on Twitch. I'm here every Monday at 7. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. My guest today is Charlie Starr from the band Blackberry Smoke. Their new album, You Hear Georgia, comes out at the end of this month, May 28th. Produced by Dave Cobb. I mean, like, what a great thing to look forward to. Coming out of this darkness that we've been in for the last year.
Yeah,
it's great to have that. How many? You're touring with a bigger lineup right now too, right?
Yeah, we added, Benji Shanks, my guitar playing buddy, he's been playing guitar with us here and there for several years.
Mhm.
He guested on the last 2 albums, and he was on a live DVD that we filmed at the Tabernacle in Atlanta. And he and I've been playing acoustic shows for 10 years. And then, I don't know, slowly but surely, we had kind of always wanted to add him to the band, he plays great guitar and slide guitar and pedal steel and mandolin. We could do all those things live, I would put those things on records. I still play slide guitar, but I would put pedal steel and mandolin and banjo and things on records, but never could do it live. And he can, so, because he's not singing.
Yeah, perfect.
And then Preston Holcomb plays percussion, and he's a great drummer, percussionist. He went to high school with Britt Turner, our drummer.
Oh,
and
great.
Preston's been in a great Atlanta band for years called the Grapes. And they used to I would see them. Well, I saw them once actually. I saw them play with the Black Crowes at the Greater Atlanta Pot Festival in 1992. But they were old Atlanta mainstays, and so again, like there would be percussion, tambourine, maracas, and congas on our records, but never live. So it was like, let's bring Preston too, and I don't know, I love it. And the Black Betties, our friends Cherie and Sharita Murphy, they're on the record, but they can't tour because they have their own band called the Black Betties, and they can't join Blackberry Smoke. But if I had my way, they would.
You could always just have the Black Betties open for you guys.
Yeah, it's
for
just
a run at least to get them on for a couple months.
Great idea. It was a great recording process because we did it all together. Well, except for the Betties, they couldn't come up there. But having the instead of a 5-piece band, we were a 7-piece band tracking, which is amazing. A lot of the solos are live, the percussion's all live with the track, and it's just a good feeling. I've seen some people be like, "You don't need that many people in your band." I'm like, nobody said we need it. We like it.
Right.
So, shut up.
Exactly.
I'm glad nobody ever told Skinner not to have 3 guitar players. I'm sure they did, and they probably were like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. I've always been really fascinated with Ed King, Gary Rossington, Alan Collins, and then later Steve Gaines, having three guitar players that solo in the band, but they're able to stay out of each other's area. It's fascinating, and that is what we kind of aspire to. It's like, let's not play the same thing all the time. Let's do, make it a weaving thing and stay off each other's toes. And it's beautiful. I love it.
I think it sounds great. And we caught a taste of that live sound when you guys did live from Capricorn Sound, and the Black Betties were actually there with you.
Yep.
For that. So yeah, I can't wait to see it with the extra guys. I don't think I've seen it yet with that lineup. So I'm really looking
good, man. It's I love it. It's kind of got a fingerprint,
Mm-hmm. Well, what are you gonna take us out with? My guest always goes last. So.
Well, thank you for having me, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Great.
This song, it's on a album we made called The Whippoorwill. Probably our most successful album, I guess you would say. I really love it. I'm proud of it. People always compare anything we do to it, which is fine. It does get a little bit like, don't you think my new son's pretty? Like my new daughter.
Right.
But no, I love it. It's great. And it's called One Horse Town.
Questions, you do it just because. You don't climb too high or dream too much. With a whole lot of work and a little bit of luck, you can wind up right back where your daddy was. This little bitty town, it ain't nothing new. Stick around, 'cause they all tell us to. You swallow your pride just to make your family proud. If I didn't think that it would shut the whole place down, I'd ride my pony right out of this one horse town. Yeah, this one horse town, hey. I'm an old married man at the age of 23. Got 2 little boys on the baseball team. That might be their only ticket out. All they got shut the whole place down. I ride my pony right out of this one-horse town. Yeah, this one-horse town. This little bitty town, oh yeah, it ain't nothing new. We all stick around, 'cause they all tell us to. You swallow your pride just to keep your family proud. If I didn't think that it would shut the whole thing down, I'd saddle that one horse and I'd ride and ride out of this town.
Yeah, man. Classic. Man, Charlie, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. One thing I love about Twitch is that we can now take our audience who's watching us right now and raid someone else's channel. And everyone that wants to come along will now be watching the next person. So I'm going to type down in the chat, everybody, who we're going to raid. But once again, my guest is Charlie Starr from the band Blackberry Smoke. Their new album, You Hear Georgia, comes out May 28th. And this was great hanging out. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.